total waste of time. One member down and we get sent on a wild goose chase.
What do you mean? It's a beautiful day. You're out in the fresh air. Not while you're driving, thanks. Away from all the paperwork.
Turn your back for a second and there's more piling up. That stuff breeds. Has the boss said anything about when we'll be getting a replacement?
Joe?
What the?
You can take this one.
What do you think you're doing, mate? Hey, you deaf or something, buddy? Huh? You okay?
You know, you could have got killed, you know, you poor bugger.
What are you doing out here with no clothes on, anyway? What's your name?
That's all right. We'll talk about this down the station. Come on.
Maybe the hospital first, eh? Brecky. Didn't get a chance to have it this morning. Tending a supposedly hot bird.
I'm not here, thanks.
Sorry.
He seems all right physically. No sign of sexual assault.
Well, what about the scratches and bruises?
Well, mostly superficial if he's been living it rough.
Well, you won't speak. What is he?
No, and not deaf either. Maybe he just doesn't understand what you're saying.
What doesn't want her? What else?
Well, it could be some kind of trauma, but we'd have to do psychological testing for that. It's possible he doesn't understand the language.
So, what are we going to do with you then, mate?
Well, is he hurt?
Not as far as I can tell.
If he's traumatised, do you think hospital's the best place for him?
How long for?
Couple of days, tops.
Oh, well, that really nails it down for me, doesn't it? I don't mean to be personal, but he's a bit on the nose, isn't he?
Only needs a shower.
Has he got any clothes?
Well, not as yet. Perhaps you could rustle him up a pair of trousers or a shirt or...
This is a pub, Joe, not a branch of St Vinny's.
Come on, Chris, it won't be for long.
I've heard that before.
Do you want this?
Poor kid, he's starving. Come on, I'll get you a good feed.
And, he hasn't said a word.
Well, not a thing.
But according to Mel, there's no physical cause.
Yeah.
No, thanks. Well, it doesn't follow that it's psychological.
Then what?
Well, it's easy to play dumb if he's hiding something.
Well, I don't think he's playing. I mean, he seemed genuine enough to me. I bet he's just scared. I mean, he's only a kid.
What I don't get is why no clothes?
Well, he could have been mugged.
Or been in an accident?
Yeah.
But what sort of accident takes your clothes and leaves you strolling around in the nutty?
Well, he's been traumatised.
Or he's on the run?
Listen, none of this is getting us anywhere. I suggest somebody gets out there and starts making a few inquiries.
All right, Ben, Joe, you start where you found him, local farms, whatever you can find.
That's everyone. Nobody's seen or heard of him before.
So he's not a local.
Somebody must have at least given him a lift, dropped him off.
Unless just dropped in from outer space.
BK Centre all units, keep a lookout for a missing 46-year-old male from St David's. Peter Leslie Carmody, last seen driving a 1986 Land Cruiser Tray, Papa November Golf 241. Failed to return home last night. Concerns for his welfare.
Okay, so let's go do the motels, caravan park. Maybe a passing flying saucer picked up your alien.
It's worth a shot.
No luck. We checked farms, motels, caravan park, holiday bungalows. He seems to have appeared out of thin air.
Well, there's certainly no ghost.
How about an extraterrestrial?
Could we try and keep this a bit serious, please? I mean, we need to find out who this kid is, and I think we need CIU in on this.
Would this be the boy that's been running naked all over the joint, would it?
How did you find out about this, Tony?
Aha, so it's true.
I didn't say that. Where did you get your story?
Well, I'm a newspaper man, you know me. I've always got my sources. So,
No comment.
well, it's not very public-spirited. I mean, I think, you know, my readers have a right to know.
Tony, it's not our job to help you flog copies of the Gazette.
Tom, just give me something. Tom, Joe, can you do something? Do something. Just do something.
Tony, shut up. I am doing something, okay? Boss,
Yes?
he could be useful.
Tony, useful.
Publicity. If he writes it up with a snap, might ring a bell with someone who knows who the boy is. Look, he's going to write something anyway. What have we got to lose?
What's he doing here?
We thought a story in the Gazette might help identify him.
You know, power of the press and all that.
And how do you know that won't do more harm than good?
What?
Well, that boy doesn't need front-page headlines. He needs a bit of peace and quiet, needs a bit of looking after.
Yeah, I know, Chris, but the sooner we find out who he is, the sooner we can...
Through here.
Healthy appetite?
Second plateful. Obviously hasn't eaten in days.
Here you go, mate.
No, yo me photograph yo,
No camera.
It's all right.
Yes,
just
okay, mate.
sit down.
Let's go. Jeez.
You might have at least asked him first, given him a bit of warning.
Sorry. Hey, I thought you said he couldn't talk.
Oh, he can, but he wants to, obviously. I'll have a copy of that.
Yeah, no problem. Tony Timms, Mount Thomas Gazette. I guess you're new in the country, are you? What do you think of Australia so far?
So, Tony got his interview.
Not much of one. His English is pretty basic stuff.
Did he get a name?
No, not even that.
Well, at least we know he understands us.
No, he don't.
Well, that won't worry Tony. He'll just make it up as he goes along.
But not if we could find an interpreter who speaks the boy's language.
What about Tibor?
No, it wasn't like that. More like Mum and Dad's neighbours, actually. They're Yugoslavs, I think.
Well, we could get onto headquarters and get them to send out an interpreter.
Don't we need to be more specific? A Yugoslav is only a guess.
And anyway, it'll take days.
We did have a guy, one of the farms we visited, name of Labrik Gashi. He could come from that part of the world.
Talk to him.
This is the boy.
What's going on?
Hey, Chris, we're hoping to talk to him.
What would you like me to ask him?
Well, perhaps you'd better find out if he understands first.
Oh, yes, of course. Which cup of bun?
Lemni Rahat.
Oh, yes, he speaks Albanian like me.
Excellent. Could you ask him who he is and where he's come from?
Do që them se ti ke hum kujtesën, pastaj ti pa vjen me mu.
Unë po ri këtu.
Këta njerëz nuk qajnë këtu për ty. Ata do të fusin prap në burg, e pastaj të kthehen në atë.
Unë po ri këtu.
Na shohim për këtë punë. I'm afraid he does not know who he is.
Sorry?
His memory has gone, what do you call it, amnesia.
You mean he doesn't remember anything?
Nothing. As you can see, he's very confused. Perhaps he may remember later. If you like, he can come home with me. It might help. Talk the same language, same background.
No, please, stay nice, lady.
Of course you can if that's what you want. Look, I think it'd be much better if you just stayed here until you get all of this sorted out.
He's got them all snarled.
Oh, ease up, PJ.
He knows better English than he's letting on.
It doesn't make him a criminal. He's not on the FBI's 10 most wanted list.
How do we know this?
Oh,
Picture mountain and bear.
Yeah, but that's just a mountain. Where's the bloody bear?
Behind bloody mountain.
well, at least he's a lot happier now.
Oh, maybe that's just another symptom of him being traumatised. You still think that he's faking it? I don't know. There's just something sus going on over there.
He's in a foreign country and he's homeless.
Like Tess. Sorry, I shouldn't have.
No, I'm being evicted from my flat.
Too many all-night parties, eh?
No, the landlord didn't like the nuns' chorus at daybreak every morning.
That'll be right.
Actually, he won't renew my lease. He's selling the place, so I got to move out.
When is this?
ASAP.
You get it, PJ? Got that photo you wanted?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, there's a condition. Anything you come up with, I get the exclusive, okay?
I don't do deals. Let's consider this another example of the press's willingness to cooperate with the police.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Boy.
What are you up to, BJ?
Just finding out exactly who he is.
Hey, wake up. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. Don't worry. It was just a dream. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. He's safe now. It's all right.
And some clothes. He wouldn't be choosy. He owns nothing but his birthday suit. Right. Thanks for that. Okay, bye. Salvos. Always rally to a needy cause.
How are they on accommodation?
Thank you, Parish. Tony has lived up to my expectations. See this? Naked mystery boy stumps police.
Well, it could have been worse.
How? Copper's completely clueless?
Hey, just had a fax back from immigration. He's a Kosovar refugee.
I thought most of them went home.
He refused to go. He was in a detention centre awaiting deportation. He broke out. Our innocent naked boy is a wanted man.
Alban Shehu. Well, he certainly looks like our mystery boy.
So what happens now?
Well, we go get him and hand him over to immigration.
What, they want us to do their dirty work?
It's about the size of it.
This sucks.
Sorry to interrupt, boss, but I thought you should know that Peter Carmody, the missing motorist, still hasn't turned up.
All right, we better start checking the back roads then.
Even though we're short-handed.
Less so now that the police are no longer stumped over naked mystery boy.
Sorry, I haven't seen him since this morning.
You mean he just walked out?
Well, I don't know. He might have done. I mean, he's free to come and go like any other guest, isn't he? Why?
Because he's an illegal immigrant, Chris. That's why.
Is he?
Why do I get the feeling you already knew that?
Where are you going?
Just take a look around, do you mind?
Got a warrant?
You're joking, aren't you?
No, if you want to search my pub, you've got to have a warrant.
Oh, come on, Chris.
I'm serious, Senior Detective.
She knows where he is. I know she does.
Look, we've done our job. Let's just call immigration and tell them he's gone.
Joe, this kid has broken the law. Our job is not done till he's brought into custody.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid he's right.
You know, I just don't know what's got into Chris. I mean, she's harbouring a crook.
Well, perhaps I should go and have a quiet word with her.
She's dug her heels in.
Well, we go back a long way. She might listen to me.
No.
Be reasonable, Chris. We've got a job to do.
What, dragging harmless kids off to prison?
Upholding the law.
I don't believe in that kind of law.
You can't pick and choose.
You'd think differently if you knew what he'd been through.
What has he been through?
Last night, he woke me up screaming the place down.
Screaming.
Like you've never heard before. Some sort of nightmare. I went into his room, and you know what he did then?
Oh, what?
He cried like a baby. He cried his heart out. And then he told me about being a refugee, and, you know, I don't know that I've ever felt so sorry for anyone in my life.
So that's why you're hiding him?
I'm not hiding him.
Do you know where he is?
Tom, can't you let this be? Leave him in peace. Let it sort itself out.
You know I can't do that.
How'd you go?
How do you bloody well think?
Oh, you could always arrest her, boss.
Very funny.
So, is she hiding him or what?
Chris is no liar. If she says he's not in the pub, he's not in the pub.
Which means there's others involved.
Yeah, by the look of things last night, young Alban's already made quite a few friends.
So why aren't you out there talking to some of them?
Visitor move.
What? No, you know how it is when you're living on your own. The dirty plates, they sort of stack up. So, what can I do for you, PJ?
We're trying to trace the foreign boy who was at the pub last night.
Oh, yeah. Nice young fella. What's he supposed to have done?
We think he might have overstayed his welcome in Australia.
You reckon? I thought he was settling in pretty good.
Don't yank my chain, Merv.
Who, me, PJ? Wouldn't dream of it.
So you don't know where he is?
Well, at this particular moment in time, I haven't got a clue. But you're welcome to search the premises if you desire. I won't even ask you to procure a warrant.
Don't forget you're washing up, Merv.
Thanks for reminding me, PJ. I'll get right on it.
They're all having a great time keeping him hidden. I mean, they think he's some sort of victim.
Well, he is, isn't he? His home shelled and bombed, being shot at in the street, nothing to eat or drink. That is why we invited them here in the first place.
He is still an illegal immigrant, Joe. And the bleeding hearts of Mount Thomas are not helping any.
I suppose they are entitled to their opinion.
Opinions are fine. This is downright obstruction.
We might have found the missing motorist, boss. A truckie saw what looks like a burnt-out car off the Widgery back road.
Yeah, PJ, why don't you and Joe take that?
It's not a CI matter.
Perhaps it's time you got some fresh air.
Peter Carmody?
What's left of him? His wallet. cleaned out. Peter W. Carmody. Is our man all right?
PJ?
So somebody's lost his shirt, eh? Homicide reckon it was a stick-up gone wrong.
What, Carmody picks up a hitchhiker who pulls a gun, shoots him, and he drives off the road?
Something like that.
Has Carmody's wife been told?
St David's are taking care of that.
Well, sooner them than me. It wasn't pretty out there.
And you think Alban Shayu was your hitchhiker?
We'll figure it out. I mean, Carmody's been missing since Monday, and about the same time in roughly the same area, we find this kid, out of his mind, naked, staggering about on the road, and a set of clothes his size at the crash site.
So what do you reckon happened?
Shehu got a lift with Carmody, tried to rob him. Carmody resisted. Car went out of control and careered off the road.
Yeah, and why did he dump his clothes?
Because he had Carmody's blood on him.
Well, why not chuck them on the burning vehicle?
We just had a major prank. He's not thinking straight.
What? You mean traumatised? And where did the rifle come from? Where would Alban get it?
Well, there's plenty of farms around. It's not hard to steal a rifle.
None reported missing lately.
Well, maybe the rifle wasn't registered. I don't know.
You can't prove any of this.
No, Joe. It's up to homicide to prove.
Yes, sir, can I help you?
Senior Sergeant Croydon's expecting me. Chandra Johnson, Department of Immigration.
And then when my people went to collect him this morning, he was gone.
Forgive me, but I'm somewhat puzzled. Do you always provide first-class accommodation to fugitives? Surely a cell is more appropriate?
At that stage, we didn't know.
I thought he'd be happier at the pub until things were sorted out.
I'm sure he was. Very happy. He'd have never had it so good. Certainly fooled you people.
We weren't fooled. What we'd found was a
Alban
naked,
Shahu
injured...
is no harmless victim. Do you know why he fled Kosovo in the first place?
Because if he didn't, he'd die there?
Because he's wanted for black marketeering and murder.
So how's it going in there, Joe?
Oh, don't ask me. I'm now the tea lady.
When the Albanians returned to Kosovo...
It's Darjeeling. I hope you like it.
Thanks.
Sugar, Mr. Johnson?
1.5, please. It's alleged Shehu murdered a Serb in cold blood.
Well, there was a war on, right? I mean, there's a lot of killing going on.
Between soldiers, yes, but our sources say the victim was a civilian.
So, these sources accurate?
As accurate as NATO can be. It's one of the cases they're investigating.
Well, so it's not proved?
Oh, there's little doubt.
And the black marketeering?
Shehu was caught selling produce illegally. It was intended to prosecute him when things returned to normal, or as near normal as possible.
Well, if he's as bad as all that, why'd you let him in the country in the first place?
We do our best to vet people, Constable. But you must understand what it was like over there. The confusion, the disruption. One or two undesirables were bound to slip through the net. You will let me know when you hear any news?
Certainly.
I know it won't take long, but this matter must be resolved before I get back to Melbourne.
Of course.
I trust to have your full cooperation, Senior Sergeant?
Of course. I want Alban Shahu found now.
OK, it's time to take on whoever's hiding you.
Yeah, haven't we already been down that road unsuccessfully?
That was then, when Shehu was an innocent kid. Let's see how they feel about protecting a killer.
Well, according to Chandra Johnson.
And NATO.
Well, NATO can be wrong.
NATO? You're going to take on NATO
I think
now?
you're being too cynical.
I'm being cynical?
All I'm saying is...
I don't care. Just go.
Carmody should have had $600 in his wallet. Payment from the sale of a ram.
What about the rifle?
Not registered to Carmody.
Black marketeer, killer, and thief. Or am I being too cynical? According to immigration, he's not as innocent as he seems.
Well, thanks very much for the information, PJ, but what's it got to do with me?
Well, we know you're hiding him.
Oh.
Look, surely this information should convince you.
Well, it would if I believed it, but I don't.
But you do know where he is.
Well, I didn't say that, but if we're speaking about Alban generally, then I'd have to say it's all a load of garbage. I know this boy. I know he wouldn't do anything like that.
So how can you be so sure?
I'm a woman, PJ. I just know. And besides, I haven't been running this place for all these years without working out a thing or two about human nature.
Yeah, and I'm a man. And I've been round the traps a bit too, mate. And I've met a lot of bad hats in my time, and this kid isn't one of them, right?
I'll put me shirt on it.
You just don't know the boy. He's an innocent abroad.
Yeah? Well, a bloke called Peter Carmody thought he was an innocent too. Even gave him a lift. Now he's burnt to a crisp.
If he was a cold, calculating killer, why would he be wandering around in the state you found him in?
Exactly
You
right.
think this kid was an angel fallen from heaven? Look, he had a record. He was a criminal before he set foot in the country.
We just don't believe you.
No. You know what I think? You're all stuck on the idea that all refugees are innocent, persecuted victims. You can't see the wood for the trees.
Yeah, mate. And perhaps your problem is you think all the trees are rotten to the core. Well, this one isn't, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That seems
They
pretty
are just standing up for what they believe in.
They are making monkeys out of us,
Yeah, well, I'd sooner be a monkey than a...
Sorry?
Carmody wasn't shot.
What?
Well, not according to the prelim autopsy.
But what did he die of then?
As a result of severe head and internal injuries sustained when the car rolled.
So Albin didn't shoot him?
It doesn't look like it, no.
He still could have tried to rob him and forced him to crash.
But where's the $600 then? Albin wasn't carrying it, nowhere to conceal it.
I don't know. Burned in the wreck.
You have to admit the case against Albin's getting weaker.
Could have backed me up at the pub, Joe.
Maybe there's something in what Chris and Merv said.
Do you really think that I've got a prejudice against refugees?
It's not what I'd expect, PJ.
Because I'm a walk.
I didn't say that. But you don't seem to understand.
Now listen, I understand more than you think, Joe. My parents are Lebanese, for God's sake. I mean, they dreamed of coming to this country, and finally they made it.
Right. So you should understand.
So, I do have feelings, and I don't lack sympathy. But I'm a copper first, and you are forgetting that you are one too. Now, if you want to get on with the job, you've got to put your emotions aside and get on with what you're paid to do.
Simple as that.
It's one thing to be driven out of your own country. That I can understand, but it's another if you're running away. And if you run, there's got to be a reason. And any good copper has to ask why.
He is scared, that's all.
No, Joe. All the other Kosovars went home. He didn't.
Go home to what? What's there for him? Look, it's all right for you rattling around in a big empty house by yourself, but most of them have got nothing to go back to. They've lost everything. Houses, family, children. They've got to start all over again, and why not here?
Oh, I agree with you. But if he's going to stay in this country, he has to respect our laws.
I am talking about one person.
And I am talking about a principle.
This is unofficial, Chris, just between us. I want to help Albin too.
Oh, yeah?
I think he's getting a raw deal, but I need solid evidence to prove that.
Well, the powers that be seem to have already made their minds up.
They think he's a thief and a killer. But I don't believe that. And if we can prove that's not true, maybe we can get him some kind of review or something. I don't know.
How can I help?
Well, he's obviously said more to you than anyone else. Has he mentioned anything about these allegations?
Not directly, no.
What about the situation in Kosovo generally?
Oh, it's just too painful to talk about.
Any little thing might help.
Well, look, he did mention in his sleep a name, Alinda.
Alinda? Who's that?
I don't know. All he would say was that he didn't do it.
Do what?
I don't know. He was in such a fragile state, I couldn't push it.
Can I have a word, Paige?
Just one.
Sorry about before. I might have gone a smidge over the top. Hope you weren't offended.
You kidding? Gotta hide like a rhino.
So, can we still work on this together?
We're working on the same side.
If that means getting to the truth, yes. Well, it doesn't seem as if Albin had anything to do with Carmen's
So
death.
you keep telling
Yeah,
me.
I know, but we didn't have the blood alcohol reading then.
Good. Carmody been drinking.
Nearly 3 times over the limit, so drunk he could have just run off the road.
Possible.
I also spoke to Mrs. Carmody. The rifle was his, just hadn't registered it. Kept it in the back of the ute for disposing of vermin and sheep he couldn't afford to take to the vet.
All right, so he didn't hijack Carmody.
Yeah, which only leaves the things he's supposed to have done in Kosovo.
Only?
That Labrik Gashi, I was thinking, right? If he keeps in contact with the Rellies back home, we might be able to find out what really happened.
As opposed to NATO's version?
Well, it wouldn't hurt to ask, would it? You wouldn't want to see an injustice done, would you?
Hello, Mr. Gashi.
Hi. So, do you have much contact with Kosovo these days?
Not much. Phone lines, mail, you know, it's difficult.
Albin Chew. Would you know that name from the old country?
Is that the boy? No. No, I've not heard that name before you mentioned it.
You sure?
Quite sure.
What about the refugees? Did you have much contact with them while they were here?
No, to my regret, I had no time. And the farm keeps me very busy.
Thanks. It's quite a big setup you got here.
Fairly large.
Must take a bit of work.
I manage.
On your own?
Yes.
You don't employ anyone?
No.
Well, it must be expensive.
Look, I don't understand what this is all about. I cooperate with you like a good citizen, and you are treating me like a criminal.
Oh, hardly, Mr. Gashi.
Just curious, that's all. If you happen to hear anything of Albin Shehu, don't hesitate to let us know, eh?
Of course.
What was all that about?
I think I just hit a nerve.
PJ, is that office still open?
Offer?
You know, for me to move into your country mansion.
Absolutely.
Because I'm just thinking if I was to move in there to help Tess out of a spot, she could take over the police residence.
I'd love to have you, mate. As long as your papers are in order.
Hey, Tess, you want to check out your new residence? Just see if it's your style anyway.
Thanks, man.
You're back again already.
Summoned by CI. I got your message. Labrik Gashi was granted permanent residency on the basis of already having relatives in Australia. He visited numerous times before the Balkan crisis blew up.
And he came from Kosovo, like Albin.
Yes.
So it's possible they did know each other.
I very much doubt it.
All right, is it possible Albin would go to him for help when he escaped the detention centre?
It's possible. There's reputed to be some sort of underground network to hide those who've absconded.
And then Gashi could have used him as cheap labour.
Yes. Possible.
How cheap?
They don't get paid. They get shelter, basic food. And if they object, they're brutalised. No, really, I must be going.
There might be one other thing you could do for us, Mr. Johnson.
Yes?
We've heard there's someone named Alinda involved in Albin's case. Do you think you could use your contacts to find out more about her?
This'll help to track him down?
No, but it might have some bearing on the case against him in Kosovo.
I don't see it's any of your concern.
Maybe not, but...
The answer's no.
You won't even try.
We're required to return Albin Shehu. That's where our responsibility ends. I must be back in Melbourne by tomorrow at the latest. I know you'll have found him by then.
Well, we'll do our best.
If he's in town, that is.
Tim, he wants to talk to you.
Who?
Nice lady policewoman who took me to hotel.
Take it
That's
in my
me.
office.
Where are you, Albin?
No matter. Please, must help Mr. Merv.
Merv? What's the matter with Merv?
He hurt. You must help.
Where are you?
You go Mr. Merv's house, please. Now.
Albin?
Over here!
Is he all right?
Call the ambos.
How's Merv?
He's regained consciousness, but he's been concussed. He's still up with the pixies.
Any sign of Shehu?
Nothing. You?
Did they call from the house?
Yeah, we just checked the last caller radar. Look, we're going to do a door knock, see if the neighbours saw anything.
Do you think it was Albin?
Do you?
Hope not.
I told you he was dangerous.
We are doing our best, Mr. Johnson.
Perhaps that's not enough. Perhaps you could do more.
Like what?
Well, you say there are people in this town who've been harbouring him.
Suspect, Mr. Johnson. We suspect they may have been. Again, there is no proof.
Why don't you look for proof? Search their homes.
I don't think that would be a good idea. This is a very small town and we have to live here.
Well, that's your prerogative. But the department holds you responsible for not apprehending this violent criminal. Now, good day to you.
I think we'd better find this kid before we're turned into the Gestapo.
Is he all right?
He's okay, but somebody had a really good go at him.
Who? No, PJ, no.
Merv was hiding the boy, Chris.
Maybe.
Of course he was, and he wasn't the only one hiding. There have been others.
Well, if there are, and I'm not admitting to anything, Albin certainly hasn't bashed any of them.
Well, maybe they've been lucky. Chris, listen to what I'm saying. Think about what has happened and what could happen, and come and see me. Right, so the woman that was killed was Linda Rogova? Right. See, what we're looking for is some connection with Albin Shehu, and if there's... Well, if the charges against him are legit or not, that's what I'm asking. Okay. Thank you.
Can I have a word?
Chrissy. Yeah, sure, take a seat.
We have been hiding Albin. We've been passing him around. We were going to wait till all the fuss died down and then fix him up somewhere interstate.
Right. So where is he now?
Well, I don't know. He must have run off after what happened.
You're saying you bashed Merv?
He wouldn't bash Merv. He worships him. I think the person that you're after is Gashi.
What do you know about him, Chris?
Only that the boy was a hell of a lot more frightened of him than you lot. You know, Gashi kept coming into the pub saying, is Albin all right? Is there anything he could do? I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him.
So he could have found out Merv was looking after him?
Well, not from me.
Yeah, but someone could have let it slip.
I suppose.
Chrissy, all of this would be a lot simpler if we could talk to the boy. Just let us speak to him.
And what would happen if you did?
To be honest, I don't know.
Would he be sent back to camp? Would he be kicked out of the country?
I don't know.
Well, then I'm sorry, Paige. I can't help you.
What's all this? What do you want?
We have reason to believe you may have been harbouring an illegal immigrant, Mr. Gashi.
This is nonsense.
And we've got a warrant to search your premises.
You can't do this. It's discrimination. It's because I'm Albanian.
We also have reason to believe you may be able to help us with our inquiries concerning an assault that occurred earlier today.
Assault? What assault?
Merv Poole?
Who's Merv Poole?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Merv Poole!
You'd be advised to allow us on the premises, sir, or he might bite your head off.
This is unjust. I'm a respectable citizen.
So you keep telling us.
In here. Gotcha.
He came to my place and asked for a job. I gave him one.
And treated him very badly.
I fed him and clothed him.
Didn't pay him.
Where could he spend money?
You kept him like a virtual prisoner. You treated him like dirt because he's an illegal immigrant.
I didn't know that.
Why not? You're required by law to get valid work papers.
I didn't have time. If I'd known, I would have reported him to the authorities.
So why was he kept hidden in a shed?
These people, they get strange ideas. They're afraid of the police. All police. They're peasants, you see? They don't understand these things.
Oh, but you do.
I have worked very hard here. I am an Australian citizen!
Now, I think you went after Albin Shahu because you were scared that if he spoke up, you'd be in serious trouble.
No, not true.
And when you found out he was at Merv Poole's and the old man intervened, you bashed Merv and you put him into hospital.
That is a lie. You cannot prove it.
I'm going to charge you with unlawful assault, recklessly causing injury, and harbouring an illegal immigrant.
So you can understand why Albin was so desperate to get away.
Yes, but he brought the situation on himself. He should have stayed put in the detention centre.
Come on, those camps are not much better than prisons.
It was probably Labrit Gashi that bashed Mr. Poole, but Albin Shehu still has many questions to answer about his activities in Kosovo. How did you get onto Gashi in the first place?
Just good police work, Mr. Johnson.
Through Chris Riley at the Imperial Hotel.
And have you actually made a search of the hotel?
No.
Well, wouldn't that be a good idea, Senior Sergeant?
It's not quite as simple as that.
Yes, yes, I know you have to live here, but really, things have gone far enough. Too far, in fact.
What's this?
A warrant to search the Imperial Hotel. You'll execute it. Your divisional inspector agrees with me.
Inspector Falcon Price.
That's him. He has promised me your full cooperation.
What's this?
Search warrant. Sorry.
Apparently, friendship doesn't count for very much when you've got that uniform on.
I'm sorry, Chris, but this thing has gone way beyond my control.
How are you going to repair the damage?
There won't be any damage, I can guarantee it.
I'm talking about the damage between you and me.
You shouldn't take it so personally. Just let us do what we have to do and we'll be out of your hair as soon as we can be.
Go ahead. You won't find him.
Ben, Joe, you take upstairs. PJ and I'll check around down here.
Well, nothing in there.
Or any of those. I don't know if he's around here. He must be bloody well hidden.
There's nothing down there but a few rats.
Come on, Chrissy.
He's just a kid, Paige.
Where are the lights?
You're the detective, you find them.
Clean yourself up a bit.
Thank you. How, Mr. Murph?
He'll live.
That is very good. It's not me. I'm not hurting Mitakashi.
Yes, we know that.
It is terrible thing I have done coming here. People get hurt, good people. Why suffer for me? I only cause more trouble.
They do it because they believe in you.
Yes, but I'm not worth.
For the record, what happened to Mr. Carmody? The man in the accident.
Yes, he drink much, drive fast, car. I tried to help him, but blood, and I scared. Take off clothes. What happened to Naomi, please?
It's up to immigration.
They sent back.
They say you've got charges to answer.
Yes, I go trial for what not do.
They say you killed a man.
No, not true.
Who is Elinda Rugova?
Sister. Very sick.
What's the matter with her?
Rape. Rape many times and live like I did. I know who Elinda tell me. Member Polizia Secrete. I wanted to kill him, yes, but I not kill. Someone else shoot him. Pistol placed like against head, like execute him.
Execution.
They say it to me, so run, come, Australia.
You left her behind.
She jump off railway bridge on the train. Sometimes I think it's she who shot her. All over now. I am caught and I'm glad.
Glad?
All running and hiding over. I am so tired of everything. I think it better if I did too.
Well, where is he?
No sign of him as yet, Mr. Johnson. Well, that was relatively painless, wasn't it?
I'll remember this.
I'm sure you will.
Nothing in the cellar, PJ?
No, nothing.
Nothing upstairs either.
Well, that's it then. Sorry for the inconvenience, Chris.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Johnson. Looks like you were wrong.
Send our regards to Melbourne, though.
And Inspector Falcon Price.
I guess it's too early for you lot to have a drink, so why don't you get out of my pub?
Hey, cheers.
At least the locals seem friendly, especially towards you, mate.
Sending me up more like.
Now, don't go all grumpy on us just because Alvin slipped through your fingers.
Thanks.
Hey, well, apart from all my junk, sorry about that and the mess. What do you think?
It's great. Needs a woman's touch, of course.
Of course.
But, I guess I owe you a drink.
I guess you do.
Tanya?
Yeah. Tess gets a house and looks like you've got yourself a new boarder buddy.
Glad to have you along.
Yeah, good. I'll get you a drink.
Oh, so we are still being served.
Oh, you know me. I'll take anyone's money.
How's Merv, anyway?
Oh, he's out of hospital tomorrow.
Oh, well, that is good news.
And then he's off to Tassie to recuperate.
Tassie? Is he going to be all right to travel by himself?
Oh, I don't think that'll be a problem. Someone's going to travel with him, you know, just to make sure he's all right.
Cheers.